armies are the same. Here are 10 of the most powerful armies in the world. We depend on the military to protect our country both domestically and internationally. However, not all armies are the has over 410,000 military members, using over 3,600 tanks and nearly 1,000 aircraft with a budget of about $18.2 billion. This makes Turkey's military one of the largest in the Eastern Mediterranean, with one of the most powerful tank fleets in the world, and only a few countries have more submarines than them. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has over 205 active service members in their military that utilize over 405 tanks, 908 aircraft, and 225 nuclear warheads. Their budget ranges from $53 to $65 billion in order to properly fund this sort of protection. Germany. Germany has a military budget of $40 to $45 billion with over 183.
Over the past several months, the entirety of Germany's submarine fleet has gone out of action. The Bundeswehr, its armed forces, has outsourced helicopter training to a private company because its own helicopters are in need of repair, and more than half of the Bundeswehr's Leopard 2 tanks, its most common model, were out of order, with just 95 of 244 in service. Those are only the latest reports of German military deficiencies. In spring 2017, the Bundeswehr contingent deployed to a peacekeeping mission in Mali was left hamstrung when heat, dust, and rough terrain knocked half its vehicles out of commission. In early 2016, it was reported that German reconnaissance jets taking part in the fight against ISIS couldn't fly at night because their cockpit lighting was too bright for pilots. In early 2015, as Berlin was preparing to send fighter jets to Syria, a military report, but the SDP moved into the official parliamentary opposition after a disappointing showing in the September elections. The SDP and CDU agree that Germany's military, with 178,000 personnel and much outdated equipment, needs improvement, but the SDP has balked at the CDU's push to increase the defense budget to 2% of GDP by 2024. Industry estimates put 2017 defense spending at about 1.13% of GDP. Such an increase would require Germany to grow military spending from €37 billion in 2017 to more than €70 billion by 2024, according to Deutsche Welle. The two parties reached a preliminary agreement in early January that would boost defense expenditures to €42.4 billion in 2021, but the projected expansion of Germany's economy would mean that some would still only be a little over 1% of GDP. The agreement did not specifically mention NATO members' agreed-upon defense spending target of 2% of GDP. Foreign Minister Sigmar Gabriel, an SDP member, has called expanding defense spending to 0.2% of GDP a pretty crazy idea, and the SDP is not the only party resisting such an increase. The legacy of World War II and the Cold War have made some in Germany wary of military expansion, and others have argued the German military doesn't have enough uses for such a rapid influx of defense funds. Spending 2% of GDP on defense would bring Germany to the level agreed upon by NATO member countries, but the country's political parties disagree on whether that agreement is actually binding. President Donald Trump publicly scolded NATO members for not paying what they should be paying in 2017 and admonished Germany for owing the US vast sums of money in March that year. Berlin dismissed that assertion, but the US and other officials have continued to push Germany over its defense spending. Wolfgang Ischinger, chairman of the Munich Security Conference and Germany's former envoy to Washington, echoed accusations that Germany wasn't contributing its fair share, saying it was undignified for Germany's only contribution to the fight against ISIS to be reconnaissance flights. The biggest European Union state is all for victory over Islamic State in Syria and Iraq. We take photos, but we leave the dirty business of shooting to others, he told Reuters in late January. We should not develop the reputation of being one of the world's best freeloaders, he added. The debate has not been limited to German voices. During a visit to Germany at the end of January, U.S. Army Secretary Mark Esper, a former Raytheon executive, said he would take the German government at its word that it would increase defense spending to the 2% target, but he cautioned against falling short. It's important for all of our NATO allies to live up to their commitments, Esper said. If not, it weakens the alliance, clearly, and Germany is such a critical member of NATO.
France has over 66 million people in their population, and the world knows that they have been going through some turmoil. With over 228,656 active service members, France's budget is at $43 million. That funds their 423 tanks, 1,203 aircrafts, and 300 nuclear warheads. While their military is small, they are highly focused and precise in their work. Japan. Japan's population is over 126 billion people, and out of that, the country has over 247,000 members in the military. With a budget between $41 to $49 billion, Japan is able to provide their military with 767 tanks and 1,595 aircraft. Japan also has 4 aircraft carriers equipped with only helicopter fleets. India. India has 1.3 million active service members to protect their population of 1.2 billion, making it one of the largest armies in the world. Not only that, they also have anywhere between 80 to 100 nuclear warheads, making it a powerful ally and a terrifying enemy. Their budget is about $46 to $50 billion that funds over 6,000 tanks and nearly 2,000 aircrafts. China. China has the most military members enlisted with a staggering 2.2 million. Their budget is around $131 million, but numbers stagger anywhere between 126 to 216 million. China's army tank members are at over 9,100 and over 2,800 aircrafts. Not to mention that China also has the second strongest submarine fleet behind the United States. Russia. Armies are the same. Here are 10 of the most powerful armies in the world. United States. The United States has a population of over 321 million people to protect, and 1.4 million citizens are enlisted in the military. The budget allocated for the military ranges anywhere from $601 to $612 billion. That funds over 13,000 aircraft, 8,000 tanks, and about 72 submarines. Not to mention, the U.S. military also has about 7,500 nuclear warheads. Have you ever thought about joining the Army? Know anyone who has? Leave us a comment down below, give us a like, subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.